Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started integrating Redux Thunk. So we're going to need to install a new package. So npm install -- save, and the package is going to be Redux -thunk. THUNK, and hit enter. Now basically what we'll need to do is when we create our store, we will need to apply the middleware of Thunk. So where we're creating our store is in Reducer's index.js. No, that's not right. We're creating it in the app. So in app.js, no, that's not right either. We're creating it in index.js. We're creating a store right here. What we need to do is we can pass a second argument here, and it's going to be basically the middleware Thunk. So what we need to do is from Redux, we have the create store method being imported. We also need to import apply middleware, which is a function. So now in and we also need to import Thunk from Thunk. So down here at the bottom here, I'm going to import Thunk from Redux-Thunk. And then in the create store method, I'm going to drop this down here, and we're going to take in a second property, which is apply middleware, and it's a function, and we're going to pass Thunk to the middleware. Simple enough. Let's start this by running npm start. And then we're going to have to do a bit of work in the auth actions. We're not done that part yet. We can drag this over and we can close the other local host instances. And basically now if we go to /admin, we're going to log in with nick@nick.com, and I believe the password was just test. I could be wrong. And so default login is not a function, but it's totally a function. API login, say function login. Let's remove these arrows. Save. Right, in a class we don't need the function keyword. Save this. Let's try this again. nick@nick.com, and password is test. It's still API.login. Okay, for right now, I'm going to console log API. Let's get a list of its members and whatnot. Save it and wait for it to refresh if it's going to. Refresh it manually, I guess. I'm going to Control C out of there, and then I can't. I don't know what's happening here. My terminal is all messed up. This is going crazy. I might have to just trash this terminal and then open up a new terminal inside website, run npm start, see if this starts it up. While that's going, so we're passing an email pass and capturing a callback, and that's exactly what's happening here. Export default API. It's taking a long time to compile though. Okay. We remove this. What we're going to do is in API, instead of using a class here, we're going to use a const. It's going to be API equals a list. Login is going to be an arrow function. We don't need that first equal sign. All right, let's save this. And I'm having trouble with. Wonder why that's hanging now. Let me run npm start again. Let's see what's going on. So it compiles, but it never loads. Nothing on. I think the port is the problem. Let me try /admin just to see if this loads. Okay, that's not going to load either. I might have to completely restart. Let me open up Task Manager. I'm going to Control-C out of there. See if it's still running on the port. I think it's stuck. Yeah, okay. So, see if I can. Yeah, it's definitely gonna. Okay, I'm gonna close Visual Studio altogether. Let's see if that has. Might have to like restart or something. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to restart. Because it's running in a terminal, but it's technically like not running. So let me try one more thing. All right, guys. I actually did have to restart my entire machine. For some reason, that node process got stuck. So I've got the Visual Studio Code in my browser open again. I'm going to run a new terminal in website backend, and that is our API. And I'm going to run sudo service mongodb start. I'm going to make sure Mongo's running. And then I'm going to also run npm start right here. And this will start our API. Now in auth actions, the way we left this was basically instead of just dispatch, like returning an object right here, we're going to return dispatch, which we can then call functions and then dispatch when needed. So let's go in here, and I'm going to hit login, and it says bad request. Username or email is required. So let's go ahead in the API and let's change this object. Instead of passing in a params object, we're just going to pass directly our top level email and password. So let's save this, and this should refresh. Now I'm going to put Nick at nick.com, and I believe my password was test or something else silly like that. And it says save password, so let's save this. And we can see the login route. We got back an ID, and this is the token that we need to set. So if I right click and go to, well, let's just select root and then React, we can see that the state here, the auth is set to our user and password, and the token is set to 1. So here's where we're going to change this a little bit. What we're going to do is in our auth actions here, where we return the payload, we're going to, instead of just returning the email and pass, we're going to return res.data. Actually, if I open up the console, you can see this is what we're getting back as res.data. It's just the token information, time to live, user ID, etc. We can, with loopback.js, we can also include things during the login. So what I'm going to do is, for right now, we'll just leave it like this, but we will take the ID and the user ID and we will put them into the payload. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pass the email in there. We're going to leave password out. And I'm going to actually start specifying it like this. So an object. So the payload is going to be an object, and it's going to have a token, which is going to be res.data.id. This is the actual access token that we're going to need to store and use in further API calls. We're going to also get user ID from res.data.user ID. And then I'm going to save this. And now in the login case for the auth reducer here, now we can see user is going to be set to this. Instead of this, we can set it to, actually let's leave it like that, so the entire object, but then token is going to be action.payload.token. And I'm going to save. And this is going to refresh. And we are going to log in. And now we'll see we are logged in with the token this. And the great thing about Redux is we're going to be using this token throughout our other pages and components. So by wrapping each of the components with the connect method, we are able to get this token to use in subsequent API calls. So in the next video, we're going to start building out a simple admin area where you can create posts and whatnot. And we will, I guess, move from there to really fleshing this thing out while not taking too much time to do it, because I also want to talk about WebSockets and how we can use those as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again soon.